Now that we've talked about the Mishkan and how it was built and what the furniture was that was in it, we're going to talk about what it was used for. So to start with, the Mishkan was not just a place for making offerings and korbanot. It was also a place of celebration. Okay. This celebration often took place during the harvest holidays because that's when the harvest came in, the food came in, everybody was happy and in a great mood and thankful to God and excited to be together. And there were 3 of those per year. And when pilgrims would come from all over the country, all over Israel, to bring offerings from their harvest and to celebrate together. The first one is Pesach, which we think of usually as the leaving Egypt story, but it also is connected to the barley harvest. Then there's Shavuot, which we connect to the receiving of the Torah, but that's also connected to the wheat harvest. And then we have Sukkot, less known in terms of his story, but that's supposed to symbolize the journey through the desert, and that is connected to the vegetable harvest. And those are very happy times. So describing these celebrations, the Mishnah, our Jewish tradition, says that he who has not seen the rejoicing of the ritual of water drawing, that's a festival that was done at the end of Sukkot, has never seen rejoicing in his life. Like, you think you've seen a party till you've seen the rejoicing of the ritual of the water drawing, you haven't seen nothing. And then it goes on to describe what it would be like. It would say that participants would bear burning torches in their hands while singing psalms and other praises of God. Okay, so we have torches. That's a good start. Levites would play many various musical instruments: harps, lyres, cymbals, and trumpets. Good, so we have a rock band and torches. We got pyrotechnics. And then Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel rejoiced at the water festival. He would juggle 8 lighted torches, tossing them into the air, jumping down to the ground, do a headstand, kiss the ground, jump up again before the torch hit the ground. Whoa, we have like ninja rabbis. And when we used to rejoice at the place of the water drawing, our eyes saw no sleep. Like, we just never went to bed. We stayed up all night partying. We were so happy. Continued throughout the entire night, lighting up the city so brilliantly that there was no courtyard in Jerusalem which didn't reflect the light of the great torches which illuminated the festival. This painter shows you what it might have looked like. And you'll notice that the pictures that I use, some of them will actually be showing the temple and not the Mishkan, but their function is the same, and the relationship between the 2 buildings we'll talk about later. But the same idea. So here, look at all these people. We got trumpets, and there's music, and there's huge torches, and everybody's having a great time partying all night. This is a painting of the Levitical choir. All the Levites are lined up to make music, and they all have their cool, funky, like ancient biblical instruments. This guy in front is the choir leader, and he leads the choir with the cymbals. And here are all these people here. They're like boogieing and down, and everybody's having a great time. So we have celebration as one of our activities for the Mishkan. Our next activity is something called Viduy, which means confession. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Viduy, which means confession. And that means letting go of the sins of the past by you pronounce what you've done, what areas you've stumbled, what mistakes you've made, and if you have it in your heart to change your ways, you're washed free of the guilt. And here you have a painting of the high priest, and there's another priest who's doing Viduy for him. So the priests are helping with each other with confession, and Israelites would also come to the temple, to the Mishkan, and they would also receive would also do Viduy and confess their sins. So all the way from the high priest to just some regular farmer, everybody does Viduy. You'll notice, by the way, that this is the brass altar, and this is the wash basin, and here's the Mishkan here. So this is taking place in the courtyard of the Mishkan. Next, we have Hakhel, which translates to gathering. You've heard of Hakhel before. So here's a picture. Again, this is the temple, not the Mishkan, but the same idea. And all of Israel is gathered around. Everybody that could make it would gather around to hear the Torah read. So at JCHS, we use Hakhel for weekly information, and Knesset shares their stuff. But for the ancient Israelites, yearly, everybody would gather around to listen to the entire Torah read start to finish aloud, which, you know, I'm sure was really fascinating to listen to the whole Torah, but that's what they did. Okay, so now we have Hakhel, we have Viduy, confession, we have celebration. What else do we got? That's it for today. All right, so those are the big three, besides, of course, offering the korbanot and the sacrifices.